First of all, I'll say it's a thrilling day to be back on that practice field, preparing for an upcoming season. Fall practices are the camps ahead of us, and I think everybody out there wanted to get back a lot sooner than we actually could have together as a coaching staff, support staff, players, everybody involved. It was a great day. I always say it. Coming off kind of the season we had, you want to get right back out there. We kind of did that in the spring practice. Had a great all season, and now we had the ability to go out there and throw the balls around and compete and practice, and a lot of simulated stuff we did today. It was a very good day. I thought our focus, I thought our energy, I thought our discipline, everything was on point. I told our team last night in a team meeting. I think I sat here a year ago and told everybody exactly. Our first practice a year ago was one of the worst that I've been around, and it may be just the opposite because we were on point. You can tell we had great focus and great leadership, and we excelled out there. It's hard to say did you have a great first day or not, because you're out there and you're like I said, you're thrilled to be out there. But it was a solid day. Of course, we got to get in. We're in great shape. We got to get in football shape, and we will do that over the course of the next 25 practices to get ready for our first game. But I think we looked poised. I think we looked fast when you just watch us. I think our defensive backs and our linebackers just the little different type of twitch there, different type of kind of twinkle in their eye as well. But a lot of new parts. And so this camp's going to be interesting to see all those new parts take place and shape our football program. But we're back.
Questions?
Coach, hope you had a great summer.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You too.
There was some pieces, obviously, from last year. They're going big pieces on offense. How do you plan to replace that moving forward on offense as well? On the defense, that was kind of a sore spot last year. How do you plan to move forward with that?
Yeah, those you have to prepare for losses in all situations. Recruiting takes care of that. We lost some good backs. I think we got some good backs. We lost some good linemen. I think we got some good linemen to replace them. I mean, they just because you haven't really seen them in the forefront doesn't mean they're not there. Certainly, we have to all gel because ultimately, offensively or defensively, it's about coming together and playing as one. So we have to do that over the next few weeks. But I don't see any problem with what we've brought in and what we had here to replace those guys. I'm really thrilled about it. We've in our transfers that have arrived. All are hungry. Sometimes when you go out there, you worry a little bit about the guy transferring in, why he left, what reasoning was he not playing but these guys that made the transition in Georgia State this past spring have really taken their own ownership of our football team and our football program, have really stepped in nicely, and they've all become great teammates. We're thrilled to have each and every one of them. There's not a sore spot in that group, and that's a tribute to the recruiting process, targeting the guys that we feel like can help our team and propel us to getting to that next spot.
And what's some of your goals for this season?
Well, I probably am only one of the few coaches that don't really set goals. What I try to do and what our team tries to do, we try to work hard every single day. We try to push ourselves to be the very, very best we can in every situation. And if we do that, then we're gonna achieve what I want to achieve, and that's in wins, that's possibly in championships, that's in all conference honors, that's in team accolades, whatever it may be, bowl game scenario. But I'm a simple individual. I want to outwork and have a thrilling day every single second. I want to outperform myself in the next phase of it. It's not so much about, hey, I want to win 8 games. Hey, I want to beat our rival. Hey, I want to go to a bowl game. Hey, I want to win a championship. No, I just want to be the best we can be today.
So, Coach, it's got to be, obviously, like you said, you're replacing a lot of parts, maybe on offense, but that's got to be, it's got to be a lot more relaxing knowing that you have a quarterback like Ranger coming back who can maybe make those pieces fit.
Yeah, let me tell you, every college football coach is they're either sitting there and they're feeling pretty good about their quarterback situation, and they're sitting there going, we've got inexperience, we don't know what's going to happen, we got a battle here, we got a battle there. To have Darren back, to be in his 3rd season starting, he is going to just continuously get better. He is ready to take control, and he's taking control of our football team. Don't get me wrong, but he has taken more of a leadership role this offseason, a more vocal, strong hand on our team than he ever has. I think he has had the best offseason as far as his physical nature. He's put on a few pounds right there. He's become very strong. He actually can outbench me now, so that's good. But no, he's going to have a big year. I mean, I really think he can. I think he'd be one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in our league.
Maxwell watch list too, right? I mean, that's got to be a reality.
Yeah, that stuff right there. I always try to tell these guys, hey, don't get caught up in that watch list. There's like 100 guys on the watch list. There's only 130 Division I teams, but everybody's on the watch list. Why not? You can always cut them. Might as well watch them early. but yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it all stands there at the end of the year. That's when it counts. It doesn't matter about watch list. I think we had 7 on it last year. We watched that happen, didn't we?
Because his offense has always been so run dominant, and that's something you've taken a lot of pride in. You had kind of a thunder and lightning kind of combination in the backfield. That's gone. Talk about the running back room this year and what's the possibility for that?
I think Marcus Carroll stepping to the forefront, being the go-to back is tremendous. He is as good of a running back as Georgia State football has ever seen. He may be the best running back Georgia State football has ever seen. A lot of that has to determine on those guys up front, but he's big, he's strong, he can pass protect, he can run inside, he's got the ability to run outside. He is a man among men. That's what I mean by that. He is a man among the men. And that's a good thing. And then you got KZ Adams, those guys right there. We've got backs. We've got backs, and they're going to step to the forefront. They got to deal with that offensive line. That ultimately determines how good of a back they truly are.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
So you settle on the offensive line and kind of got an idea how it's going to shape up?
Listen, I've been on a boat for the last 3 months. I haven't even looked at the offense. Today was the first time I actually went out there and saw who was actually the first 5. We'll go in here and tweak it. No, but we have a really good idea. We had a really good idea coming out of our spring season. We've added some new faces there as well that will step to the forefront and push some of those guys in and out of there. But I think we do have a solid 5 at this point in time that could go out and play today and not bat an eye. I think they're strong, they're physical. You may not have heard of their names all that much, but I think we've got a good group.
Do you want to hear the names of the offensive line? Usually that's not a good thing.
Yeah, you don't, just call them the Hogs, I guess.
You talked in New Orleans about hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, both. I mean, how did that look?
Well, let me just tell you, it looked really ugly early on because a lot of people didn't want to kind of face the music and hear what had to be said and what needed to be done. And then we had to start taking the actions towards our team, towards our staff, towards everybody in this room. And I always use the term in the last 6 months about being uncomfortable. A lot of that uncomfortableness came from, I guess, the plan in place to hire Mike Siriano as our strength coach. I knew what he brought, what he was bringing with him as far as an attitude, a strength conditioning professional, and then just true grit and toughness. And I knew he was going to lay a foundation in that room that needed to be laid. And like I said, it was a struggle early, and just like everything else, we overcame that struggle. And next thing you know, it was the highlight. And we just grew. We grew in our academics. It was, I think, our second best semester we've had in 7 years. This past spring, it continued on into our summer. Our physical presence. I talked about Darren Granger. I think Darren added 22 pounds. Our entire team added strength numbers that we haven't achieved, and we're confident. I mean, we're truly confident, and that's hard to say coming from a team that won 4 games a year ago. But we're not that team. No way, no how are we that team from a year ago, and it's been a great offseason.
Just to add on to that point about a new strength coach and everything, what made that an area that you wanted to identify and say, we need to correct that needs to change?
I don't know if it was a kind of just happened. kind of just happened. There was a transition that happened, and me bringing in that guy that I needed to lay the wood, so to speak. He was there, and he was available, and I'm very fortunate to be able to get this guy. I just think, I've always been around tough men, and I think times during the season last year we weren't tough enough to overcome some of those fourth quarters where something went bad. We thought we were tough, but we weren't tough, and we had to get that changed.
Coach, what did you see from your defense today, kind of the first real practice with Coach Staggs?
Yeah, well, really it's my first kind of look at the defensive scheme. Of course, we've had player-led practices during the course of the summer, but true play calls and defensive fronts and pressures and stuff like that, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things you got to identify with. Saw a lot of pressure today. I saw a lot of running to the ball, a lot of effort out there. Sometimes the simplest scheme in football is just getting your butt to the ball. How many can you get there and how fast can you get there? Ultimately, the scheme will take care of itself, but that is the name of the game. How many guys we can get to that ball, and we have they had a true understanding of rallying and running, and I call it gang tackling. Of course, we couldn't tackle today, but that's what it would have looked like.
You talk about your defense, talk about people in the middle, the
Yes.
books you have returned. I saw you talking to Jordan
Yeah.
a little bit after the practice. How much does it help you to have folks in the middle of your defense who are experienced and know the direction?
Yeah, well, when you say the middle, I think of Javon Dennis. I think of Jordan Venzial. I think of Justin Abraham. Those guys that play right there in the thick of it. I think our linebacker core may be one of the strengths of our football team this year. I think Javon Dennis is going to be a huge bright spot again. Just another guy you kind of forget about, really, to tell you the truth. He's not just flashy, but he gets it done. And some newcomers that we have brought in there in the middle will start to take shape here in the next few weeks. I think we're going to be strong right there. I think we got great leadership right there. I think we've got good depth right there. I think a year ago, I can remember just, we had that injury that happened there in the third game, and we were playing some guys that it was a struggle. But we revamped that middle, and it's strong.
Anything else?
Oh, hey, Coach.
How are you?
You mentioned good. How are you? Good. You've mentioned a couple of times throughout the interview that newcomers have really stepped in. Is there a guy or two who's shown work ethic and determination to get on the field that's really stood out to you?
Yes, I think a wide receiver that we have, Jakari Carter, has stepped to the forefront from the very first day. Walked in. Every single day it's consistent. Great attitude, great work ethic, strength, precise route running, catches the football, wants to do everything the correct way, wants to be the best of the best. That's something hard to do when you just transfer in, but that's what he did. I don't know how this season's going to play out, but he continuously just impresses me every single day he takes the field. Tyden Ferris on offensive line, Lamar Robinson on offensive line. Those guys, Henry in the middle in the defensive line, Anthony Bloom in the defensive line, So, there's a lot of guys. I can name them all because right now, honestly, they've all kind of surprised me because, like I said, typically you don't get that group that just is ready to go. Like I said, they transfer for reasons, and you start finding out the reasons they transferred. We've been through, some of them 6 months with them, and man, I'm thrilled to death they're here.
Were there any guys when you said we're gonna blow this thing up or do it different? Were there 2 or 3 guys that said, yeah, I'm gung ho with you all the way right from the start?
I'm sorry.
When you came, you started the whole reset.
Oh, yes.
Were there 2 or 3 that said,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we're here?
Yeah, there was no question about it. They'd walk in my office, and I have meetings. We have what we call a pulse group. They're the pulse of our football team. So I kind of lean on their ear to kind of hear exactly what happened. And I think within the first 2 days, it was like best thing we've ever done. The best thing we could have done for this team. It's just continuously. Then we have more meetings. And then you have final meetings in May to reevaluate the spring and what it was. And you know, I always, I don't know how many coaches do this, but I always say, what can I do better? What can I do better for our football team? How do I help you guys? I need to know. I need to know this stuff. And I think one answer came out that just shot. He said, "You've already done what you needed to do."